One sentence shattered 23 years of silence. You're the reason I'm still nothing. My stepson, Ethan, 27 and furious, hurled the words across the church basement like a grenade. Folding chairs creaked. Coffee cups froze mid-air. 50-odd members of Grace Community stared, waiting for the explosion that never came from me. Instead, I calmly placed a thin beige envelope on the long table between the potluck green beans and the half-eaten sheet cake. No drama. No shouting. Just paper. I'm Calvin Hayes, 58, lifelong resident of the east side of Lansing, Michigan. 34 years driving long haul for FedEx ground. Calluses thick as quarters, back that reminds me every morning I'm not 20 anymore, and a thermos of black coffee that's been my only constant companion longer than any human. The envelope contained nothing flashy, no courtroom summons, no hidden recordings, no smoking gun screenshots. Just copies. Dry, official copies of signatures I'd once placed in good faith. Ethan's face went from red to ashen when he recognized the color of the paper. He knew exactly what lived inside. The story didn't start in that chilly fellowship hall last January. It started 9 months earlier at a corner booth in Logan's Roadhouse, the one off Lake Lansing Road where the peanuts are free and the air always smells like fried onions. Ethan had invited us out. Family dinner, he called it. Translation, he needed something. He arrived 20 minutes late in the black Mustang I'd co-signed for when his credit was underwater after the gambling apps. Shiny new rims he couldn't afford. Same car I still insured. Same car he'd once rear-ended because he was texting. Sharon, my wife of 23 years, already sat waiting, twisting her napkin into rope. When I slid into the booth, Ethan didn't look up from his phone. Just grunted. Halfway through the ribs he dropped the bomb casually, like commenting on the weather. Dad called yesterday. Said he's got a beach condo now. New girlfriend half his age. Told me Mom could have done a hell of a lot better than a glorified delivery driver. The word hung there, better. Sharon stared at her mashed potatoes like they might explain what to do next. I waited. 5 seconds. 10. 20. Nothing. No defense. No, that's not fair. No hand on my arm. Just silence. The same silence that had followed every sarcastic jab, every joke about my job, my truck, my life, for years. That night the quiet in our kitchen felt heavier than any argument ever had. Sharon went to bed early. I stayed up, opened the fireproof box under the desk, and started pulling documents. Car loan, my name first. Insurance policy, my card on file. Phone family plan, 5 lines, 4 of them never paid by the users. Apartment lease, guarantor me. Storage locker, paid from my checking. Not one massive betrayal. Hundreds of small monthly yes that had quietly become expected. The next morning I made coffee at 4:17 a.m., same as always, and began the paperwork. Polite phone calls. Certified letters. 30-day notices. Every step deliberate. No yelling. No ultimatums. Just boundaries written in Times New Roman. When Ethan finally realized the checks had stopped, the texts arrived like clockwork. You're actually doing this? You're ruining my life over words. Mom's crying every night because of you. I never answered the accusations. I only sent one reply, ever. Effective dates are in the letters you received. You have time to make other arrangements. The fallout came in waves, not one tsunami. Repo notice on the Mustang. Disconnected phone. Eviction warning. Job lost because he couldn't get to shifts. Belongings locked behind a storage gate he no longer had the code for. The church hall confrontation was simply the moment the waves finally broke over the dam. Ethan stood trembling, eyes wet, voice cracking. You took everything. I met his gaze, really met it, for the first time in years. I stopped giving what was never mine to keep giving, I said. The rest was always yours to earn. The room stayed silent, but it wasn't the stunned hush of scandal. It was the sound of truth finally being allowed to breathe. I picked up the envelope, tucked it under my arm, and walked out into the January wind. For the first time in decades, the cold didn't feel like it was pressing down. It felt like it was finally letting go.